Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier. If you want honesty and experience in your next real estate transaction, look no further than Patrick Mitchell at Century 21 D Perio. You can give him a call at 440-431-7458. And if you mention Holy Name Baseball and purchase a home through him, he will make a $150 donation to the Holy Name Baseball program. Patrick Mitchell is a proud coach and supporter of Holy Name Baseball since 2007. It's a big conference battle on hand here at Tri-C's Ron Mottl Field. It is Holy Name and CVCA up next on SmeeSports.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say first, all glory to God. Without him, I am nothing.
Power the shove, Neighbor Nation! We will see you on Saturday afternoon! Riley Meister gets the point!
Back into left field. Say goodnight to that baseball.
This is another one. It's back-to-back jacks for KSU Tuscarawas. He's the point, and it's alive. Hanson pushes it over. Unbelievable. We play on. It's blocked. We're tied. We're tied. Unbelievable.
Good afternoon from Ron Mottl Field on the campus of Tri-C West. As today we have some North Coast Conference baseball between the visitors from CVCA and the home team, Holy Name. He's Tim Nichols. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon live on SmeeSports. As you put it on the CVCA Livestream social media page, the second annual CVCA Livestream and SmeeSports collaboration. Tim, glad to be with you once again.
Nate, good to be here. Good to have you invite me back. I guess we did an okay job last year, so we're going to do it again. I'm going to play it back one more time.
And last year's game, a very good contest all the way around. A lot of the same key players on the field today, but a few big ones obviously not there. I'll let you take it over for CVCA. A lot of big guys leaving in the class of 2024.
There were a lot of big guys that left in the class of 2024, but CVCA's back and looking for another strong campaign. They're off to a good start, 4-3. Went south to Nashville to start the season and came away from that Nashville trip 1-2, but have rebounded here in Northeast Ohio and put together a 3-game winning streak that was stopped on Saturday in a 4-2 loss against Bay. They lean heavily on their starting pitching, and we're going to see a good one today in Kyle Shaw.
And Shaw, looking at his stats entering play today, a solid 1 ERA. He pitched in the 1-0 win against Walsh Jesuit, which, as you told me before the game, that was the first ever time CVCA has beaten their noisy neighbors. So I'm sure that was a good feeling midweek when that one happened. But that was not the only kind of tight battle they played in this year. A 1-0 loss to CVCA loss to St. V's. But one thing is for sure, if their offense is able to provide something, even 2 runs, they have a good chance of winning any game.
Yeah, the Royals' starting pitching is one of the strengths of the team this year. It's a little bit of a finding themselves from a hitting standpoint. They rely on John Harabedian and the catcher, Ryan Weehee, who had a great game against Holy Name a year ago. And both those guys committed to Division II colleges. Weehee headed up to Hillsdale next year, and John Harabedian headed to Ashland. But Shaw getting the start today, and he's been just as good on the bump.
And for Holy Name today, it will be Harrison Frank on the bump. A rough start to this year for Harry. He's batting .143 and in one appearance has an 8.75 ERA. But Frank, as we saw last year, he is a pitcher that he might take a game or two to settle into the season. But once he is settled in, he is pitching his best baseball. His best outing last year, despite giving up a run in the first inning, was the playoff win against your former conference rivals, Canton South.
That's right. The Royals moving from the Principals Athletic Conference a year ago to a conference with Holy Name. It's a conference game today, the North Coast Conference. First year of competition in the North Coast Conference, and these two teams will see each other twice in the next 48 hours.
And looking at some other sports in this conference so far this year, one thing is for sure. A lot of regional hopefuls in volleyball. I believe everybody except Beaumont made it to regionals. I mean, that is insane for that much talent to be in one conference.
The volleyball competition, I think the Royals finished 3rd or 4th in the conference, and yet, as you mentioned, every single conference team, save Beaumont, I believe, made regional finals. So that was an excellent showing. And, of course, on the football gridiron, we're looking forward to the fall when the North Coast Conference gets underway in truth with their first year of competition. Last year, the teams kind of filled out their schedules and completed their obligations, but the NCC will take center stage this fall.
And we will see if Holy Name and CVCA do battle, and when they do. Last year, they did not. Looking at the preliminary schedule, it's a weird one for Holy Name first. They, in their first 2 weeks, have Normandy, a former conference rival, and Gilmore Academy. And Gilmore, they could have one of two seasons. One, an even better one than last year, or two, a crash back down to earth. It is going to be one of those two extremes, I would say.
Well, the best season in CVCA Royals football history was ended by Gilmore. We'll talk more about that later because we're ready to get underway here from Mottl Field.
And for CVCA leading off, it is Jacob Lancey, the junior, batting .304 on the year. Time is 4:56, and we are underway with a tank to left field. Vega gets underneath it and makes the catch. One pitch and one out to get the ball game rolling.
A good start for Holy Name. You get one pitch, one out. You can't complain with that. Lancey roped that to left and into the teeth of the wind, not blowing in, but blowing out heavily from to right field today.
And yesterday in Tri-C's second win, it was that left side where Brendan Hazuda had his walk-off hit. The win helped in that case. Today, it might not be doing as many favors. The pitch runs inside, 1-0 the count, and it is number 5, Connor McGow batting for the Royals. He is batting .222 on the year, has a double, but his most important and impressive stat, 3 stolen bags.
Yeah, Connor McGow's got some speed, and he's going to try and leg one out here.
Preisel chucks across the diamond and picks up Sastry for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. The Namer defense looking solid so far.
Absolutely. A routine 6-2-3 put out right there to retire McGow, and now that'll bring up CVCA's Weehee.
And Weehee last year, we talked about him in our intro. One heck of a game against Holy Name. I believe we gave him player of the game honors. Either it was him or Wiggs who got it, but
it was Weehee.
but Weehee, he had some nice tanks in that game and some nice throws from behind the dish. First pitch strike from Frank, 0-1 the count.
Yeah, Ryan Weehee's leading this team in pretty much all offensive categories. And as we mentioned at the top, committed to Hillsdale, so his baseball career is going to continue beyond this season.
That pitch will carry outside from Frank, 1-1 the count. If Weehee is able to reach, another powerful hitter steps in John Harabedian.
He's in the on-deck circle.
Here is the 1-1 from Frank. Swing and a miss. Weehee can't connect. He is down now 1-2 in the count. A good pitch from Frank, who early on in this frame, he was pitching for contact. Now he is pitching for a strikeout.
You mentioned that Frank had a rough outing his last time out, but certainly the conditions much, much more favorable this time today. A beautiful day for baseball so far.
Here's the 1-2 from Frank. Swing and a miss. He gets his first strikeout on the afternoon, and it will retire the side. Harrison Frank and the Holy Name defense coming to play in Parma. Middle of 1 at Mottl Field. 0-0 your score. This is OHSAA Baseball on SmeeSports. Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier. If you want honesty and experience in your next real estate transaction, look no further than Patrick Mitchell at Century 21 D Perio. You can give him a call at 440-431-7458. And if you mention Holy Name Baseball and purchase a home through him, he will make a $150 donation to the Holy Name Baseball program. Patrick Mitchell is a proud coach and supporter of Holy Name Baseball since 2007.
Bottom of the first inning at Ron Mottl Field, 0-0 your score. CVCA going in order to begin the game. He's Tim Nichols. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. Your thoughts on that first frame? I mean, a lot going well for Holy Name, but still, a lot more has to go right for them to win.
Well, it's early yet, and they had a fantastic start. You can't complain with setting down the Royals in order in the first inning. And as I mentioned, the conditions much more favorable today, and the Namers defense backing up their starting pitcher there in the first inning.
For Holy Name to begin the home half of the first inning, it will be Mikey Tordzidlo, Nick Nemeth, and Ryan Wisniewski set to hit. Tordzidlo in the leadoff spot today. Usually this is Joe Svetz's spot, but he is inactive today due to him being on vacation, so we will hope to see him back in the lineup soon.
A coach's most frustrating situation around spring break, when the player leaves for vacation. But nevertheless, here's the first pitch.
And it is in there, 0-1 on Tordzidlo.
Shaw was outstanding in his last start. We mentioned it earlier. 5 innings pitched, no runs, just a single hit against Walsh Jesuit in the 1-0 Royals victory on the 4th of April.
And that pitching was all it really took for CVCA. Their offense, it took them a second to get rolling. All it took was 1 run, but as we've seen so many times in baseball at every level, if you have elite starting pitching, it becomes contagious and kind of spreads into some good offensive hitting.
Shaw's not a big strikeout guy, just 6 Ks on the season, but he relies on his defense to back him up, and certainly they did that on the 4th. See if they can do that again today.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Tordzidlo. The pitch, and it will miss. 2-2 the count.
Bit high and outside, and good job taking that pitch, waiting to see one other one.
Tordzidlo, he has had some good hits over the years. So far in this campaign, he is batting $111. The 2-2 fouled away.
And the new baseball after that.
And so far throughout our spring coverage this year, we have seen a lot of teams go up and get a lot of foul tips. They just wait for their pitch to come. Some teams, they find it. Others, they don't.
Pair of southpaws on the mound today.
Shot to foul again by Tordzidlo.
Just got a piece of that one, and he stays alive. Count hangs at 2-2.
2 foul balls in a row. I mean, Tordzidlo, he is on it. He just needs to find one that he can straighten out and give a ride, because you can hit the ball wherever you want all day long, but very few can find the perfect spot in the field to get a good base knock, especially after 2 foul tips that he appears to be a little bit behind on.
And Shaw's not going to overpower anyone. It's the change of pace on the pitching and the speeds. We'll see what he comes up with here.
The 2-2 again, and it is in there for strike 3, and he gets the tag. 1 up, 1 down, and the contact pitcher starts off with a K.
He does. Got him on the outside. Must have got just a piece of the outside edge of the plate, and got him looking with the backwards K. 1 down.
And how many times, if the catcher drops the ball, do we see a strike called? A very rare decision there. But either way, a good defensive start for both sides. 4 up, 4 down combined. And it is Nick Nemeth in the box for the Green Wave.
And he's been plastering the ball so far this season.
Batting .556 as he misses on 1 down low. 1-1 the count.
2 of 3 with a stolen base against Lake Catholic on Friday night. 5 of 9 on the season.
And he needs more of that today if the Namers are to win this one. A beautiful break from Shaw. Now 1-2 the count. We have seen so many great breaking balls this year, and it appears Shaw, based on that offering, he might be the next in line. Here's the 1-2. Chopped foul over towards Coach Maceda at third.
He had to dodge that one. Able to do it, as any good third base coach who spent a lot of time in that box over the years can do. A little agile.
He could have tried for the play, though. You have to appreciate the coaching fielding play, but sometimes getting out of the way, the right decision. Now 2-2 the count as that pitch is down low in the dirt. After Nemeth, it is Ryan Wisniewski due up.
Nemeth is a large specimen in the right-handed batter's box. Just a junior.
Here's the 2-2. A good Skyer left side going plenty deep. And unlike at CVCA last year, it won't be gone, but it will be dropped in left, and he is in at second base.
First break of the game goes to the Namers, as that was a high, towering fly ball, and unable to track it in left field was the Royals left fielder.
Tagasser just unable to get it. I think he touched it, so if he did, that will go down as an E7. So put Nemeth in scoring position, but I think CVCA, for at least a brief moment, they saw a flashback to his home run that barely carried over the, I believe, center field fence.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll tell you, the Royals coaching staff agrees with you. They've ruled an error in the Game Changer app. So a two-base error, and Holy Name is a man in scoring position early.
And a good block there from Weehee. The catching battle is going to be interesting because you see two pitchers who like to hit the bottom of the zone. If a ball goes away, we are going to see plenty of action on the base path. 1-0 the count on Wisniewski, who has been a pleasant surprise for the Namers this year, batting .375. And as I said during the scrimmage against Independence, that is the time to build yourself a spot in the lineup, and he did so perfectly.
Trying to bring home his teammate on second base, Nemeth. If he can do it, it'll be his first run batted in of the year.
And as for Nemeth over at second base, already 4 stolen bags on the year. Obviously, second to third more difficult than first to second. He could try and make it 5. Here's the 2-0. Chopped right side of the infield. Nobody's home at first. Shaw goes to cover, but he is not in time. Great hustle by Wisniewski.
It was, and Shaw just a little late getting off the bag to cover first base, and that's all it took. It'll be an infield hit. Runners at first and third.
Usually this is where you could say, let's go small ball. But with J.R. Sastry stepping in, I think he'll call time himself and sub himself out if that's the call. He does not have the word bunt in his vocabulary.
And Shaw in a jam. He gave up only 1 hit, as we said, against Walsh in his last start. Gives up 1 right there, and right now the Royals at double play depth.
But for Sastry, going back to the district semis against St. V's last year, the one and only run scored of the game, and it was a monster home run. Runner goes, it's low. Weehee chucks, and the tag is in time.
Ryan Weehee showing that arm, and the Namers running into an out at second base.
So now 2 down, and I am almost surprised that Nemeth stayed put.
He certainly had a chance to steal a run there. The ball did bounce into second. Nice job by the shortstop putting the tag on.
I mean, it was inches away from sneaking into center field. And now they're going to call it a balk, and Holy Name will strike first.
Royals head coach Jason Herblay wants an explanation here.
We will watch it back real quick, but I've said it so many times. I mean,
The ump had it right there.
they got him. But I've said it so many times. If you ask a pitcher what is a balk, get a lawn chair. You will be there for a long time as they vent.
And we've got a little bit of a discussion going here as Jason Herblay is getting the explanation that he doesn't want to hear. But Holy Name's got a 1-0 lead on the hands of an error in left field, moving the runner over, and a balk. So small ball does win.
Somehow, in some way, it worked out. But you go back to that stolen bag attempt from Wisniewski when he was rung up for out number 2 trying to take second base and Nemeth stayed put. The odds of Holy Name scoring really went down. But if there is a will, there's a way, and they were able to score a run, albeit on a quote-unquote pitching error. But still, that's the call.
It is. Herblay will head back to his dugout on the third base side. Certainly unsatisfied by that explanation, but nevertheless, the umpire out there still giving some instruction to Shaw on the mound.
But I think the happiest man out of everybody is Sastry. He for sure now can swing away.
He certainly can. Base is empty.
After Sastry, it goes to the other side of the corner infield with Nemec.
The conversation on the mound continues as Shaw still getting instruction from the umpire, who certainly is standing by his call. As we go back, it's 0-2, the count.
And that pitch will sail up and out.
Sastry's got power, certainly trying to get uncorked with a 111 batting average for the first 4 contests. See if he gets a good pitch to hit here.
And he will miss on that attempt. A good pitch to him. He just couldn't time it up right.
I believe I said it was 0-2 before. I was looking down at the outs. It is 2-1.
So 2-1 the count. 2 down in the bottom of the first. Sastry chops it left side. A good snag at third. And the throw 2-1 is in time, retiring the side. Lancey, a nice fancy slide. But either way, the damage has been done. Holy Name strikes first, courtesy of a balk and of 1 in Parma. Holy Name 1, CVCA 0. Your score on SmeeSports.
Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier.
Welcome back to Ron Mottl Field for the top of the second inning in this NCC game. Holy Name up 1-0 over CVCA. Tim, an unorthodox way to score your opening run, a balk.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Namers will take it. They know that they've got a good pitcher they're going up against. They get a run early and see if they can add to it. But they've got a tough second inning here as the Royals will bring to the plate John Harabedian, followed by Mamoni and Zach Anderson.
The heart of CVCA's lineup, and when you have a kid committed to Ashland as talented as Harabedian, you know what beast you are dealing with, but sometimes you still can't prepare. And he uncorks on that one, but it is foul. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, John's going to follow his sister to Ashland. Sister Caitlin Harabedian on the Ashland girls or women's basketball team at the collegiate level. And so he certainly had his choice of places to go, but like the Ashland staff, and certainly going to be not too far from home, so mom and dad get down to see his games. We saw dad in the stands earlier.
Talked to him for a few minutes, but you look at Ashland, you can kind of call them pitcher U. We talk about wide receiver U, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, those kind of schools. But for baseball, pitcher U, at least at the Division II level, it's the Eagles.
And John's primary position on the mound for the Royals. Playing some first base today with Kyle Shaw getting the start. He'll fit right in there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Frank, and it will carry up and out. We are even. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Harabedian 368 on the season so far. He's got 1 home run. Plenty
of power in his swing. The 2-2, and we are full. 3-2 the count as Frank misses in the opposite batter's box. And on top of his hitting exploits, Harabedian, 5 RBIs, 368 as you've said. Tremendous work from him. Nemec across the diamond, and it is in time to Sastry for out number 1.
Couldn't get much on that one. Inside and pulled it to third base. A weak ground ball, and he's retired.
And now Mamoni steps in, batting 111, 1 RBI on the year with 1 stolen bag. But we talked about it, I believe, at the top of the broadcast, if not before the broadcast. Both teams having an average of under 250 as a cohort. Every single hit is going to matter.
They will. We don't expect a lot of runs today.
And the only quote-unquote hit of the game was an infield hit that had some miscues over on the right side in regard to communication.
That's right. Yeah, the Royals' defense failed them in that first inning. They had the error in left field. They had the miscue, which resulted in an infield hit. The pitcher laid off the mound, and here's a rope to left field.
Vega going back. He will catch up to it. A missile from Mamoni, but that is the second put out of the game from Vega, and it retires the designated hitter for out number 2.
Albeit an out, good to see a good rope, a good line drive to left from Mamoni as he tries to get himself worked out in the early part of this campaign.
And it seems like the majority of the big contact hits that we will see today will gravitate towards that left field line. And speaking of big hits, it's not one in regard to a swing. It's one in regard to a hard 90.
The 6th time in this young season that Connor McGow has been hit by a pitch and he takes first base.
Wow.
And he's a threat to steal anytime he's on the base paths. McGow, I believe, with 3 stolen bases so far this season.
That's Anderson, number 20.
Was it Anderson? My mistake. Zach Anderson gets hit by the pitch.
3 stolen bags on the year, so he could go for his 4th here as we have Drabick stepping in the box. The freshman batting .500 so far. Not too shabby. Frank fires the pitch. Grounded up the middle. This could be trouble, but Wisniewski unable to get it. And on the E4, the freshman reaches, put 2 on the base path and 1 in scoring position for the Royals.
He'll certainly want to have that one back right through the wickets on what would have easily been a simple play at the bag at second to retire the side. The Royals have new life.
And just like last inning, when 2 outs are presented, all bets are out. Some crazy things seem to happen.
So Kyle Shaw will see if he can help himself.
So based on that, it'll be Wershing in the on-deck circle, and Tagisser will not be hitting. So a slight change there to what we anticipated. The pitch, and it is in there. 0-1 the count on Shaw.
Shaw just hitting a bucket a quarter, 125 on the young campaign, a pair of hits in 16 at-bats.
But no better time than now to get rolling, especially with a 1-0 game. Swing and a miss, pulling off with that cut. It looked like he kind of just brought his head along with the bat over to the right side. Keep that head in. And at this point, a chop swing, something to put the ball in play, it will do.
Yeah, he's looking for contact here.
Here's the 0-2, and it is in the other batter's box. But I don't mind that offering by Frank by any means. He cut and pulled off on the last offering. Put it where he can't hit it and see if he chases.
Absolutely. You want to waste a pitch there. See if the batter will chase. Make it out for you.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Frank looking to retire the side. He does, looking. A beautiful delivery to Shaw. And Harrison gets out of the sticky situation.
Right down Broadway right there, and the Royals leave a pair.
A tough break for the Royals. It looked like the tide was turning in their favor, but Holy Name, they are able to get out of the inning. Frank, his 2nd strikeout on the afternoon, and the Green Wave defense survives. Middle of 2 in Parma. 1-0 Holy Name on top on SmeeSports. If you want honesty and experience in your next real estate transaction, look no further than Patrick Mitchell at Century 21 D Perio.
you can give him a call at 440-431-7458. And if you mention Holy Name Baseball and purchase a home through him, he will make a $150 donation to the Holy Name Baseball program. Patrick Mitchell is a proud coach and supporter of Holy Name Baseball since 2007. Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013.
Holy Name 1, CVCA 0 your score as we return to Ron Mottl Field for the bottom of the second inning. An interesting contest so far. A few uncharacteristic errors, but Holy Name, they have the lead 1-0 once again because of a balk.
Absolutely. The balk in the first inning brought home the only run of the game, and the Namers will bring up Nemec, Preisel, and Oleksic here in the bottom of the second inning.
Nemec, another player trying to carve a rollout for himself on this squad. He is batting below 100 this year, but he has a pair of RBIs. He will lead things off. And going back to last year, it took him until his final game of his sophomore year to get his first career varsity hit. And that was in the loss against Firelands.
He'd like to get his first hit off of Kyle Shaw right here.
And that would help Holy Name get a conventional run going. An swing of sorts there. 0-1 the count. I think he knew when he started that stride that is not a pitch he wanted to cut at, but it's too late in the motion. You have to follow through. And now it's 0-2 looking.
He's in the hole right here.
A very good response by Kyle Shaw. Obviously the balk's still in the back of his mind, but as of right now in these two pitches, he has put that aside. A good ball down the left field line. Nemec gets it through, and it will be a leadoff single for Garrett.
He did not look like an 091 hitter right there.
The way that came off the bat, I was sure that was going to carry foul, but it just hugged that line, and somehow in some way it snuck past that was Lancey over at third. But I mean, about as good of a hit as you could have asked for there. Picture perfect down the line, a tough spot. Maybe a little bit more speed, you test it, but right now up 1-0. A base runner, it does wonders. And now we will see Preisel step in. 5 RBIs on the year for him. And it is a first pitch ball. Weehee unable to hang on.
So Shaw's going to pitch with runners on base once again, and so he had the balk in the first inning, which cost him the run.
So it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this scenario. Preisel sees that one in the zone. 1-1 the count. A good get right for Shaw. And he needed something along those lines. Something that says he is still in control of this game despite the base runner and despite the run. Preisel looking to move Nemec along. Chop left side weakly. A good snag from Lancey, and the throw 2-1 is in time for out number 1.
But the soft grounder was enough to move the runner to second base, and the Namers got another runner in scoring position here with just 1 out in the second.
Really, any more power there, and that would have been a double play.
Only one play, and that play was at first base. The Royals record the out.
But Oleksic now stepping in. No hits on the year. But he has a chance to potentially move Nemec along, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and lay down a bunt.
Arabini playing in close at first base.
They anticipate the bunt. And Oleksic instead will chop that one foul. 0-1 the count. Oleksic, his best friend, that left field line, flashing back to the loss against Padua at BW. A beautiful triple down that left field line. Almost snuck out of there. But it stayed in the fishbowl barely. Shaw setting and fires the 0-1. Almost hitting Oleksic, but he will duck out of the way. But still, that bat staying up there, that could have been costly.
Just got himself out of the way. It certainly wasn't a fastball. It was just a ball that got away.
Now the count sits even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shaw fires. And it is in there, lower echelon of the zone, but it is good nonetheless. 1-2. After Alexic, it will go to Danny Stibley, the right fielder. Runner at second, 1 down for Holy Name to work with offensively. And almost it hits Alexic again.
Another one that got away just over the head of Alexic.
I will give him credit for being able to get out of the way of both of those. They were right there and very nearly hit him. And at the same time, he could have easily let them hit him.
He could have.
2-2 the count after the wayward throw. The pitch. Cranked right field line, but foul.
Just got ahead of that one.
And you could see his reaction. He knew that he had it, but just too much over to that right side. But now, if you are Shaw, what do you throw him? Because it's a good battle, but anything half decent, and he could definitely put this ball in play.
Absolutely. Just 5 plate appearances looking for that first hit, and it could mean a run right here.
The 2-2, right side again, a little bit weaker off the bat, and the play is made by Harabedian at first for out number 2. But Nemec now 90 feet away from scoring.
So same situation as the first inning. 2 down, runner at third base.
And we will see Stibley step in. He is batting .333 on the year and a chance to bring in Nemec. If it is an RBI single, that is your first conventional run of the game. But Holy Name, it doesn't matter if it's conventional or unconventional. A run's a run to them. The first pitch to Stibley is right down the middle. 0-1 the count.
Starting him off with a fastball.
That's the exact start he needed. But 0-1 the count. Still a chance for CVCA to come up unscathed. Skied, and it will finally almost go out of play, but Weehee almost had it.
It was in and out of the glove. I think that may be another error on the Royals' defense. Wait for the official scoring, but Weehee was under it, slid to his knees. I'm not sure if the camera caught it because it was so close in, but it was in and out of the glove. Certainly had a chance to record the out right there.
With Weehee being that close, but you also add in the sun, it is not a gimme play by any stretch of the imagination. Shaw looking to take care of Stibley. The pitch carries well up and out. It seems like the breaking ball either A, drops perfectly in, or B, it's out of control.
It's on that right, the left-hand side batter's box for the left-hander on the right of our viewing.
And this time it is chopped foul to the left side. A good battle from Stibley, but still a lot of work to do. And after the right fielder, it goes to Vega in the 9-hole. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A chance to get out of the inning. And it is upstairs and out. And I believe now the count is 2-2.
I was looking down. 2-2, it's even.
Shaw once again, ready to work. And it is in there on the corner for strike 3. As I said moments ago, either the break is wayward or it does exactly that. Finds the spot perfectly.
And he got the batter looking. The Royals get out of the jam. The end of 2, it's 1-0. Holy Name.
And that is the second strikeout of the game, courtesy of Shaw, excuse me. Both pitchers pitching well so far, but it is the Namers a slight lead through 2.
Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier.
Two innings in the books at Ron Mottl Field as Holy Name hangs on to a 1-0 lead over CVCA. He's Tim Nichols. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. So far, as expected, a defensive battle.
It is, and the Royals coming up in the third inning. Still looking to break through. Holy Name leading 1-0. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for CVCA. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Holy Name, and that one's coming back just to our right.
So 0-1 the count on, I believe, Wershing, who is in the 9-hole. And as we figured out, Tagaster, he will simply just be in the game as a defender, as we saw Shaw hit for himself to end last inning. Now 1-1 as Frank just misses on the bottom right. But CVCA looking for that breakthrough play, that one hit that really says we can come back and we can take control. Last year, I believe it was a 3-0 lead for them early on in the contest, and Holy Name, the whole time playing catch-up, got close, but never close enough. Count now sits at 2 balls, 1 strike. Frank trying to even it up, and instead it is hit into right center field. Stibley unable to get there. It is over his head, and cruising into second base, it is Wershing.
Wershing with a stand-up double. A play that could have been made out in right field, but the wind blowing out to right pretty heavily today, a gale, and the ball misplayed into a double for the Royals.
And what did we just say about CVCA? They need a hit that says, we are here. Getting a stand-up double, that is exactly what the doctor ordered.
And Wershing turns it over to the top of the order with a leadoff hit, and the Royals now will bring up Lancey.
And we saw Lancey last time, albeit directly to Vega in left. He has a good amount of power behind his swing.
He hit a rope to left field to start the game on the first pitch.
So now the question is, what is the approach of CVCA? You have nobody down, runner in scoring position. You could try and bunt him along the base path, but based on the stance, I think we see a swing.
Yeah, this is the heart of the Royals order at the top. Lancey coming in at 304. Connor McGow, 222, but certainly he's got speed when he gets on the base pass. And I errantly said he was hit by a pitch earlier, but he has been hit by a pitch 5 times. And then following that, you've got Weehee and Harabidi, and the Royals will try and bring this runner in the conventional way.
Here's the 0-1, and the break a little bit too late, 1-1. But now Frank, he is trying to hit the outside of the zone. I think based on the way he is pitching, he wants a liner to first base that could be caught. That is just the way that the setup is happening, intentionally or unintentionally. And considering he goes out there again and gets it to the right side, I would say mission complete. Another high hanger, and Stibley falling to the ground. He makes the catch.
Or does he? I think there is some question with the runner on second base.
And now there is a lot of anger.
They've ruled him out.
Well,
that is the you hear some of the crowd maybe in the background if you've got the audio up saying get in position. The umpire, it's a 2-man crew, and a ranging fly ball was still in the infield as the outfielder out there dove to make that catch, and they ruled it was a catch. Royals contested it, but nevertheless, now the head coach for the Namers wanting an explanation.
From my angle here, I thought he caught it, but the way he went to the ground, it's different than last time. It was a quicker pop-up in comparison to the last one where he dove and missed, where he stayed on the ground longer. If that kind of way of playing the outfield tells us anything, he caught it. But then again, looks can be deceiving.
And what we have resulting in that play is a sacrifice fly as Wersching moved over to third base. And now 1 out, and the Namers bring the infield in at the corners.
McGow fouls the first pitch away. 0-1 the count. And already it only took us just over 2 innings, and we have our first caustic call. But I would assume, given this is a conference battle, and if lacrosse is any indicator, a growing rivalry, we're going to have a little bit more of that as this game progresses.
Now you mentioned the rivalry. These two teams having only met one time last year in non-conference play, but now it'll be conference play from here on out with the North Coast Conference in its infancy. But it's been a good spot, I think, for both these schools.
Here's the 0-1. And with Benedictine coming in a few years, at least for football, it is going to be interesting because they were a team who played non-conference. They just tried to play as many good teams as they could, get a high seed in the playoffs, and work from there. Now 1-2 is that's a beautiful break from Frank.
Right on the outside corner.
But I think the conference, we are going to see more teams join it as the years goes on. Because the one conference I believe Walsh was set to join, it collapsed this year.
It did. But Walsh is an interesting place. Long fly ball.
Stibley getting underneath it, and this time it's out of the glove. CVCA ties it up. McGow, he will stay put at second base, and we are knotted up.
It has been an adventure out there in right field this inning.
And now I think they're calling the second base runner out. They pointed there and said, out. Obstruction?
Wow.
Now that one I don't get.
I will confess, yours truly was looking down.
But I think they're going to keep him out there. But initially they pointed and said, you're out. I heard that up here.
Well, McGow's returning back to second base, so that is certainly not the way it plays out.
I was about to say there was nothing even to obstruct in the infield.
I was looking down, getting ready for the next batter, John Harabedian, and checking down for the right fielder from Holy Name, Stibley, who's just struggled this inning with the wind blowing out toward right. He's made 1 catch out of the 3.
And now it is Weehee stepping in, runner at second base. The go-ahead run, albeit.
You're right, we got Weehee and then Harabedian. Still just 1 down.
But a very confusing frame. I mean, obviously deciding if Stibley caught the 1 out there was crazy enough. But the way this has gone on with the wind, I don't think this game is going to get any easier for either side.
Absolutely.
But based on the way that we are rolling, I think we are going to have a very quick game to an extent. At least in comparison to the one that we had at Skeels Field last Monday, that we were there for almost 3 hours for a game that never even finished. That's on the corner now, 1-2.
Do tell, a game that didn't finish for our viewers.
7-5 through 6. Alliance gets up, 11 runs, no outs recorded amid the snow. It gets too dark. 16-7, they suspend the game. St. V says the game ends at 6. They win 7-5. Coach Graffis says, nuh-uh, we're playing on. But based on the schedules, I would be shocked to see that game complete.
Last Monday was certainly a very different experience here in Northeast Ohio.
It was probably one of maybe 20 games at best that actually played. 2-2 now the count on Weehee. He struck out his first time up. And that was enough to end the top of the first. Frank looking for out number 2. And before the pitch, he will look back. He has to be very careful because as we saw with Shaw, anything close to a balk, and there will be at least a conversation, if not a call. Here's the 2-2. Hit left side, and it falls for a base hit. They will send the runner. Vega's relay not in time. It's an RBI single for Ryan Weehee. And he continues to dominate against the Namers. 2-1 CVCA on top.
Against the Namers and just about anybody else who will step in and try and face Ryan Weehee. It's his 5th run batted in of the season for the Royals catcher, who's hitting well above 400. And the Royals take their first lead of the day.
Something about the green and white of Holy Name brings out the best in Ryan Weehee. Maybe he's learning something from a future classmate separated by 2 years at Hillsdale in Levi Ellis, the legendary EC running back who had a number of good games against the Namers across his time in the former GLC. 1-0 the count on Harabedian. A ground out to Nemec his first time up. 2-1 CVCA grinding out a lead in the top of the third.
Weehee with a huge lead at first base, both feet on the carpet.
And against a lefty, no less. Popped into left center field. The wind doing some help with it. And it is caught in center by Nemeth for out number 2. A very off-balanced catch.
Yeah, once again, every ball in the outfield is an adventure today. Seen it for both teams. Nice job by Nemeth. Track that one down.
And now we will see Alex Mamoni, the designated hitter, step in. A fly out to Vega in his lone plate appearance. Regardless of what happens in this at-bat, the damage has been done. CVCA in a very good spot, up by 1. And Holy Name's offense, they will need to respond in the next frame.
We mentioned it last time Mamoni was up. He's trying to get untracked this season, and he put good, I would say good wood in any other league other than high school, but he got good contact on the ball in his last at-bat.
He will try and make it a hit this time. Once again, it looked really good off the bat for a second, but instead it stays in the infield. Once again, the wind bringing us a new adventure. Preisel catches it, and the side is retired, but not before Ryan Weehee once again greets the Namers with an RBI single. 2-1, the Royals lead. Middle of 3 in Parma. The Namers looking for a response when we return.
If you want honesty and experience in your next real estate transaction, look no further than Patrick Mitchell at Century 21 D Perio. You can give him a call at 440-431-7458. And if you mention Holy Name Baseball and purchase a home through him, he will make a $150 donation to the Holy Name Baseball program. Patrick Mitchell is a proud coach and supporter of Holy Name Baseball since 2007. Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013.
Welcome back to the wind tunnel that is known as Ron Mottl Field. I feel the wind in the box, and I mean, we've had a few, I don't even know how you describe the fly balls. Interesting, weird, out of this world, extraterrestrial, at all?
All the above. So, Nate, it's been an adventure, as we keep saying. The wind just gusting out to the right field area. And so any ball hit towards center, toward right, into the outfield, the players of both teams having struggles tracking it down. We were just talking about that last half inning where the Royals got 2 runs on the play where the first out of the inning where the right fielder, I believe Stibley, fell down or dove down and made the catch, apparently. The Royals runner moved to third base, and whether or not he was tagging in time or not, we're not sure the umpire ever saw that. But what's done is done, and the Royals have a 2-1 lead.
And that makes more sense as to why we heard he's out. It fills in the blank.
I think you're right, as we were talking about it, because there was some commentary from the crowd saying the runner should have been out. That was not the call of the umpire. He gave him the advance to third base on a sacrifice fly, and the run came home, and the Royals added another.
But based on the way that he hit that ball, I don't think it would have mattered if he was at second or third. 1-1 the count on Vega. And it is now 2-1. That pitch missing low. But it is 9-1-2 due up this frame for the namers. Vega, Torzidlo, and Nick Nemeth. And interestingly, it is the highest three numbers on the roster who are active today in order. 34 in the 9 spot. Then you go back up to 1, 42, then 44.
So I just came off a plane this morning on a red-eye from Las Vegas, and I think you've got some numbers information for us there.
Good amount of analytical analysis. It is a leadoff walk for Vega. But as I talked about it yesterday, baseball, it is just situational analysis and add on some analytics.
Absolutely. So truth be told, there was no gambling done by the Nichols family in Las Vegas. We saw the Eagles at the Sphere on Saturday night. It was an outstanding show. The Sphere, something to behold.
That is something that you do not leave in Vegas. You bring the Eagles back.
You do bring the Eagles back. They were fantastic. Holy name with the leadoff runner, and shot with a throw to first base.
But Mikey Tortillo, the pressure is on him to make something happen here. You have the speed of Vega, and he was one of my former teammates when I was on the JV team a few years ago. He has the speed to steal, and he might be the fastest guy on this roster.
You can see he's ready to run. And he's going to run right here on a wild pitch.
And absolutely no contest. As I said, I know my teammates very well. Vega, a good amount of pace.
So just like that, Holy Name with the tying run in scoring position, nobody out.
Do we see a bunt attempt now? You have the speed on the base path in Vega. Torzidlo, a very smart baseball player. He definitely could pull it off if asked. Now Nemeth in the on-deck circle, let him swing away. He thought about it. You could tell just the way that he was standing, and I believe where he was gripping the barrel. But either way, it is a strike, 1-1 the count.
Just caught the inside corner right there.
A lot of close calls today, but the pitchers, to their credit, they have been hitting their spots rather well. 1-1 strike, a runner at second, no one down, bottom 3. The pitch, hit up the gut, and it will fall in center field. Vega will go to third, put runners at the corners, nobody down, and Holy Name's offense is coming alive.
Vega had to hold up right there to see if that ball would be caught in center field, but Wershing could not range in quick enough, but he did keep it in front of him, and he only was able to advance to third base. But first and third now, nobody out.
We've seen a very similar scenario to this. It was Nemeth at third that time, Wisniewski at first, but I think we see the steal again, and it might be just to bring Vega home, but if that happens, I think we see an infield or middle infield cut.
I don't know, I'll tell you, Nate, when you got a hitter who's hitting .556 coming into the game, if it's me, I let him swing away, especially with the trouble in the outfield today, fielding fly balls.
I mean,
that's why we're up here. We don't get to make those decisions.
The power of Nick Nemeth, I mean, I could talk all day about how much power that kid has, and my roommate to my right, a former football teammate of his, he could even attest to how strong of a kid Nick Nemeth is. Since day one, as a freshman, making his grand entrance against Padua in the rain at Fisher Field to now, he has become one heck of a ball player and an athlete. Here's the 0-1, and it is low, 1-1 strike. But Torzidlo plenty active over at first, and if this was, say, the 5th inning, I think you would see a courtesy run for the catcher in place of him. You have the speed on your bench, potentially, depending on who's actually here. Maybe not.
Throw it first. They might a good throw might have had him.
A flashback to Daniel Crable of St. V's last year in the district semis. He had 2 back picks just like that. And that was really what swung the game in St. V's favor. They led throughout the entire contest, but it was the back picks. Anytime Holy Name got a runner on, you always had to look out for it. And they fake it again. But I love that from Weehee. Plenty active behind the dish. The best catchers are active catchers.
I believe he had some back picks against Holy Name a year ago down in Cuyahoga Falls at CVCA's baseball stadium.
And when you have Nicky Ravelli over at first base, the tags are seamless. This year it's Harabedian. The 3-1, chopped left side. This could be 2. They get the out at 2. We are tied at 2, and they do not get the second. And I think I have hit my quota on the amount of times I could say the number 2 in a single sequence.
Well, it is now 2-2, so you've got 2 more right there.
Boom. Look at that.
A run batted in for Nemeth, his second run batted in of this season, which seems shocking to me. A productive out right there, and he's on the base pass on the fielder's choice.
And now he is the go-ahead run with Wisniewski stepping in. He is 1 for 1 with a base hit, but also was caught stealing. Swing and a miss on the first offering. 0-1 to Ryan, who, as I said last time, has been a pleasant surprise. With Svets not being active today and 2 out of the 4 guys on Holy Name's bench being POs, without him stepping up, this would be a different ballgame, as you would have to move a lot of guys around. And that is in there now, 0-2. You would have to bring in Sank, who is your DH/third-string catcher. You'd have to move somebody over to second base instead. A lot of moving pieces, so Holy Name, very grateful that Wiz has stepped up this year.
And I'll tell you what else, as there goes the runner.
Chopped up the gut, a beautiful snag by Shaw, and he will get the out at 1.
So the hit and run in action right there, and that moves the runner to second base and keeps the inning going.
But that was a nice snag by Shaw, using all of his height advantage courtesy of the mound. A beautiful pitcher fielding play. And I don't know if he will get another opportunity like that given J.R. Sastry stepping in. He grounded out last time up, but I believe he was within 15 feet of going yard against CVCA last year.
And Ryan Wee, he's going to go talk to his pitcher with Sastry stepping into the box. And the other thing I'm looking down at, we're just 2 2/3 in for Shaw, and he's going to already have 54 pitches in the books. Given he had a 1-0 victory, and he went, I believe, 5 innings against Walsh last week on the 4th. Holy Name's doing a good job just getting through the order and potentially getting to the Royals' bullpen. Starting pitching the strength of the Royals, but the bullpen, have to wait and see.
Chopped left side by Sastry. It goes to the same spot, and they evade the tag, but in the end, they say no. Nemeth almost getting shifty, just not enough, and the side is retired. Your thoughts on that play? They had the sure out at 1, but you can get the tag, avoid a potential error amid the wind, and according to the call, they got it.
They did, and it may have also been a base path issue over there at third, as nearing the third base bag, as the runner tried to evade the tag. Kind of ran right into the out. I mean, you run on contact. It was 2 outs. Just an unfortunate circumstance for Holy Name as they run out of the inning.
But this might be the closest game that they have competed in all season long. 2 all your score as we enter the 4th inning. This is becoming a premier rivalry, and it sure feels like it. More to come when we return.
Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier.
Top of the 4th inning at Ron Mottl Field. Honors even. Holy Name 2, CVCA 2 your score. First pitch from Frank misses low. 1-0 the count on Anderson. It is Anderson, Drebick, and Shaw due up this frame for the Royals.
And we were talking about Frank during the break, and he's done a good job today keeping CVCA off balance.
And speaking of off balance, Preissel able to track it down for out number 1. A very awkward play, but once again, the wind makes every single ball hit into the outfield an adventure.
but it was not a solid hit. He's keeping the Royals off balance, and we were talking that he's had a really great bounce-back start after that last start against Lake Catholic. Through 3 1/3 now, and just 2 runs in the last inning.
And, I mean, he has been looking like Harrison Frank from last year. And that is what you want to see. You want to see improvement, yes, but if you have a very bad first start, to then turn it around to be how you were last year as a solid number 2, that's good enough progress through how many games now for Holy Name? This is game number 5.
Yeah, 3 1/3 right now, 2 runs, just 1 of them earned. And the other big thing is he's not giving free passes. 2 strikeouts, no walks.
And the walks, that really killed him last time, I believe. Right back to him. He blocks it with his chest, and he makes the throw 2-1. Harrison Frank, an all-around athlete.
You mentioned quarterback, is that right?
Used to be. Now I believe he plays more defense. Connor Jameson, the quarterback for Holy Name this past year. But Frank, he's played some quarterback. 5 for 8 against Canfield a few years ago.
Well, I'm thinking he might be consider hockey right there as a goaltender. That was a great stop right up the middle.
9 times out of 10, you would be correct. But given the silent assassin of Emily Sefcik, we look to be pretty much set in goal.
You always need a backup. You always need a backup in hockey.
I think Coach Macetta would be a little bit concerned about his number 2 and his starting left fielder if that were to be the case.
Well, he certainly had great instincts right there. Goaltender's instincts to make that stop and 2 away here in the 4th inning very quickly.
And it is Shaw in the box for CVCA, quickly up 2-0 in the count. After him, it is Wershing, and then back to the top of the order for the 3rd go-around. But a very good and competitive game thus far as we are nearing the 1-hour mark. The 2-0, chopped right up the middle. Wisniewski ranges over, slides. The throw will not be in time. But a good job by Wisniewski keeping it in the infield. That is one way to make amends for the error earlier on.
He did. He almost did too much right there because there was no way he was going to get the runner out at first base, but did make the toss from his knees. It bounced a couple times, but still stayed in play and did not throw it away. But that was probably better served to just eat it. Nevertheless, the Royals have a 2-out runner.
And now we will see the number 9 hitter, Nick Wershing. A double his last time up, and if he can repeat that feat, CVCA might retake the lead.
He got the Royals rally started last inning with that double.
A good amount of movement on the first pitch from Frank. 0-1 the count. And his breaking ball has been tremendous all afternoon. Credit to him and to Shaw, who both have been on point. Here's the pitch. Another breaker, and it is foul down the right field line.
Slice just foul. In between the first baseman and CVCA's assistant coach, Ben Miller.
But credit to Wershing in the box. A great adjustment to the off speed to track that break perfectly and get a good amount of the barrel on your swing. More power to him. Here's the 0-2. Frank blows a fastball right by, and that will retire the side. The off speed won't break down Wershing, but the fastball does. His 3rd punch out of the afternoon. Holy Name's defense bends, but doesn't break. We head to the home half of the 4th inning. 2-2 your score, and all still to play for in this North Coast Conference matchup. If you want honesty and experience in your next real estate transaction, look no further than Patrick Mitchell at Century 21 D Perio. You can give him a call at 440-431-7458. And if you mention Holy Name Baseball and purchase a home through him, he will make a $150 donation to the Holy Name Baseball program. Patrick Mitchell is a proud coach and supporter of Holy Name Baseball since 2007. Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. We flip to the home half of the fourth inning at Ron Mottl Field. Nemec, Preisel, and Oleksic do up this frame for the Namers. 2-2 your score, and we have a very good battle on hand. A low-scoring affair, but that is what we expected heading in. Shaw's first pitch will dip into the zone. 0-1 the count on Nemec. But we go back to last inning for CVCA. They were able to get Shaw on base with an infield single, but after that, Wersching struck out swinging. Holy Name's defense, a good job settling the game down, and they are able now to really control the tempo of the rest of the afternoon. A good, powerful cut by Nemec, deep to left, and it will be caught just in front of the warning track for out number 1.
That is the only part of the outfield where you're going to have to really blast it. Wind going to right, and that may have knocked that ball down. It was a rocket.
That is the most powerful swing that I have ever seen from Garrett. A very good cut to get the inning underway, but still not enough to reach. And up steps Brendan Preisel. Preisel, a ground out in his one and only at-bat thus far, and he will hit it directly to second base. Drabick, an easy catch for out number 2.
2 quick outs for the Royals.
And 2 hard-hit balls directly to CVCA. And now Oleksic steps in, a ground out to first, his first time up. First pitch, he will hold off on. 1-0 the count.
It looked like he was. They're going to check, and they call it a strike at first base on the check.
Good use of an appeal from CVCA. You always have that option. If it is close, you use it. Now 0-2, Oleksic cutting off and missing.
Shaw on the verge of his best inning of the afternoon.
And that would be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Royals. Here's the 0-2, and it's in there. Strike 3 looking. Kyle Shaw, domination.
3 up, 3 down for Holy Name, and the Royals come to bat here in the 5th, looking to take the lead.
It couldn't have gone any better than that for the defense of CVCA. 4 complete, and we are tied at 2.
Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier.
4 innings in the books, and we will enter the top of the 5th inning. All still to play for. Both starting pitchers still in the game, and the defense is starting to get even better as this game is entering the final few innings and stages. We say that right now, but unless one of these teams finds a way to score, we could be here a lot longer.
Well, that was a big inning for Kyle Shaw, just an 8-pitch inning. 1, 2, 3 went down Holy Name, and now the Namers have to go through the top of the order, the teeth of the order for the Royals here in the 5th.
First pitch hits the outside corner. 0-1 the count, and once again, that pitch that carries over into the other batter's box just slightly gets the nod again. But Frank continuing his great afternoon, and we will have time called before his next offering. But it is Lancey, McGow, and Weehee do up this frame. It's the heart of CVCA's order. You hate to say it's now or never, but with Holy Name getting closer and closer, it feels, it would not be a bad thing if you are a CVCA fan to see them score a run or two here. Now 1-1 as that breaking ball misses up and out.
Lancey, a good guy to get it started. 3:04 coming in. Hit a rope the first pitch of the game, right to left field.
And that pitch will miss low. 2-1 the count. But both of his outs so far have been made in left and right field respectively. He has outfield power. He just needs to find the right spot in the outfield. The 2-1 runs up and in. A good start from Frank has turned sour. 3 balls in a row. 3-1 the count. And McGow is eagerly waiting in the on-deck circle.
Frank yet to walk a batter today, but down 3-1 in the count.
Here's the pitch. Sent right into center field. Still going on back, and it will fall over Nemeth's head.
That's going to be 3.
And he will try and make it a triple. Lancey, he is in there with a head-first slide. He tried the left side. He tried the right. He says, how about the center? And the center is where he finds his big hit.
The Royals with a huge hit to start off the top of the 5th inning.
The go-ahead run, 90 feet away. And you talk about a hit. I mean, it looked decent off of the bat, but the wind did it so much better.
And it's been blowing out to right all day. As we look at the flag, it is taut out straight to direct center field, and it carried that ball.
First pitch will miss off of the plate to McGow, and he has a prime opportunity to put the Royals back on top. But an absolute tank over Nemeth's head.
It looks like Holy Name is conceding this run in the infield. They've got the infielders in at the corners, but the middle infielders playing back a bit.
I don't mind that system strictly because you look at the way this game has gone. McGow, he has hit the ball to either side each time. Now 2-1, but at the same time, the corners give you your best chance of making a play at home. You'd rather take out number 1 than miss the out at home, miss the out at 1, runner on, nobody out. Now 3-1 as that pitch backs out McGow. But looking at Holy Name, Marchetta and Germano both unable to pitch today. It might have to be a guy in the field right now coming in.
Pitch number 60 coming up right here for Frank.
Still plenty of pitches in his back pocket. It just depends on how this inning goes.
And he loses him his first walk of the day, and first and third for the Royals, nobody out.
And now we will see Ryan Weehee step in. 1 for 2, an RBI single, and a strikeout to his name. But if you are Holy Name, you need something here. Something that will give you a spark defensively. And usually this would be a spot where if you want the play at the plate, you might load up the bases purposely, but you have John Harabinian on deck. That is not the guy you want to see there. You really can't do it.
Frank needs a strikeout or a pop-up here.
He definitely does. I mean, if it was Harabinian in the batter's box and it was Mamoni on deck, then maybe you intentionally load up the bases and hope for a play at the plate. But given the scenario right now, they might not.
Well, he starts off well with a strike there.
And as well, if they get the out here, you still have the double play ball in effect. Now, if he steals, I think then you walk Harabedian and you bring up Mamoni, bases loaded, looking for a double play. Frank, he will get ready. Runner goes, the 0-1, swing and a miss. And towards Zidlow will fake the throw back to third.
So a stolen base for the Royals gets the second runner in scoring position. No throw to second. And now 2 runners in scoring position for Ryan Weehee.
Out number 1 more than ever needs to come at the dish.
Frank's ahead, 0-2.
This will be his 4th strikeout of the afternoon if he can find it. Not quite, as he misses well up and out.
To your point, if he can get and record the out here without further damage, I think you automatically walk Harabedian.
I think you have to. Just given two guys on in scoring position, his power, you don't risk that, and you get a force everywhere then. But that is a dream/vision a little bit further out than first expected. It is now 2-2.
Frank with two straight outside the zone, seeing if Weehee would chase, but he's disciplined at the plate. Now it's even at 2-2.
And time has been called in the box. But when you have a guy like Weehee, who all he has to do is get anything, and I mean anything, on the ball to score a run, he's going to be patient, and he is going to wait, especially in a situation like this. They might make the play at home. Instead, Nemec bobbles, throws 2-1. It is in time, but CVCA takes the lead.
A productive ground out for Ryan Weehee, gets the lead run home. 3-2 CVCA.
And Harabedian, he will be given the luxury of batting here. I feel like now, runner at second base, this is where you let him hit.
Oh, they'll be letting him hit, no question. 0 for 2 so far today. But 368 coming into the game. 1 home run, 5 runs batted in.
First pitch up and out from Frank. 1-0 on Harabedian.
McGow, a huge jump off second base. Trying to get that secondary lead.
3 stolen bags on the year for him. He is hungry for a fourth, especially with Frank seemingly zeroed in on the plate. Finally, he will check. And he will step back, and there will be no throw. And that is the luxury that McGow has. We, I don't think, have seen that throwback from Frank yet today.
No.
We have seen him look, but no throw.
Big hole in the right side of the infield.
Swing and a miss. It looked like he got underneath it. 1-1 the count.
The Drabic at second. The second baseman.
That is McGow waiting at second.
No, the fielder.
Oh, Wisniewski's over at
Wisniewski,
second.
My bad. Wisniewski shading at second base.
1 ball, 1 strike. And time is called. Frank, he is taking some extra time in the on the mound. But you really can't fault him. He needs to have his best stuff here. And if he can play a little bit of mind games in the process, more power to him.
Yeah, Wisniewski almost on the bag in the dirt.
Here's the 1-1. And it is scooped up by Torzidlo in the dirt. 2-1 the count.
It's a pivotal point in this game right now. Royals have taken the lead 3-2, looking for more.
And this is where they can make a statement and take control of this game. Holy name, they would need a lot of offense if CVCA is able to score both McGow and Harabedian. Here's the 2-1. And it is on the corner, 2-2. Once again, with Frank having so much success on the outside corner, I'm surprised he is not attacking it more.
We'll see if he goes there again and tries to stay away from Harabedian.
But at the same time, if you are Harabedian and you know that, poke right field line.
Exactly.
RBI single. It's a chess match. Here's the 2-2. He goes inside, and it is fouled away.
Yeah, we continue to look as Wisniewski shading very much towards second base. The right side of the infield wide open.
And swing forced over to that right side, and it is through. Almost surprised, based on the way that Harabedian has been cutting the ball today, that it is not Preisel shading. Way outside this time around, and we are full 3-2. For Holy Name, no action in their bullpen.
Payoff pitch upcoming.
Frank, he needs to have it here for out number 2. And time has been called. Holy Name, their next games, they will be at CVCA tomorrow, at Kenston on Thursday, at Solon Saturday. Then they begin their trip to Cincinnati. Tuesday, they play Archbishop McNicholas. And on Wednesday next week, they play at LaSalle. And I believe to add on to that, they have the likes of CVCA and St. X.
Should be a good trip down to Cincinnati next week for Holy Name.
They have a chance to do really good. It just depends on which guys pitch what day and how they respond to that kind of road trip. I mean, very far, but still a manageable drive as it is popped over to the right side. Sastry gets underneath it and makes the catch for out number 2.
Great job by Frank to retire Harabedian to get the second out of this inning.
And you can see the way that Sastry was glaring into the sun. No sunglasses. A very good catch over at first.
It was, but Harabedian off balance on that one and just popped up to first base. A missed opportunity for the Royals. A great break for Holy Name. They get out of this inning with just 1 run. The way it started off with a leadoff triple and a walk to follow. It'll be an outstanding job by Frank to pitch out of trouble.
And as we said, Harabedian, he wanted to hit it over to that right side. He did, but just way too up in the clouds.
So now Mamoni.
And Mamoni so far in this game, a fly out and a pop out to his name, 0 for 2. Not too many hits in this game combined, but a couple of really big ones for CVCA.
3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Royals. 2 runs, 3 hits.
A good piece into shallow center field. Preissel able to cut it off before it hits the grass. And that will retire the side. Yet another pop out to Preissel. I mean, he's had a good amount of them so far in this game. But to his credit, he has been able to track them down. If you would see his heat map, I feel like it would be a good 60, 70 feet in between where he has caught the ball.
Absolutely, and really just great job by Frank pitching out of trouble right there. A pop out to first and a pop out to shortstop to get out of the inning. Second and third, nobody out, if I recall it right, and only yielding 1 run. Holy Name still in this thing.
Definitely, this is the battle we wanted to see. Middle of 5 in Parma. CVCA 3, Holy Name 2, your score on SmeeSports.
Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier.
A few housekeeping messages to provide before we get underway in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tim, I'll let you take it over. A new arm on the mound and a new man standing in left field for the Royals.
Kyle Shaw's day is done on the mound. It's not done overall. He's moved into left field, and Alex Mamoni will step in to pitch. He pitches from the right-hand side. It's his 4th appearance on the season. Mamoni comes in with a record of 1-1, a 3.15 ERA, and he's got 1 save to his credit. He comes in with a 1-run lead in a save opportunity in the bottom of the 5th inning. For Shaw, he pitched 4 innings today, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. He is in line for his 2nd win of the year if the Royals can hang on.
But given this Holy Name offense, that is not a very sure guarantee of a win. But this game, a little bit closer than last year. I think the big difference was CVCA got out to a hot start, but this year, both sides, a very tempered beginning of the game offensively. The wind, it has died down somewhat. I mean, looking out in the outfield, the flag is doing what?
But it is still gusting out to right field. It was gusting out to center during the last Royals at bat. But now, still going strong to right field. And Holy Name starts off this bottom of the 5th inning.
And they are making a pinch-hitting change. It is Nate Sank on to swing. and he hits it over towards short. A good one-hopper, and the throw across the diamond is made in time. 1 up, 1 down, and a great chuck by McGaw.
Connor McGow got his arm into that one and chucked it over to first base where Harabedian made the put-out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Alex Mamoni on the mound, the right-hander. First right-handed pitch of the afternoon.
And now we will see Matt Vega step in. It'll be interesting to see if Sank stays in the game or not. And talking to Coach Macetta before the season, he did say one position that Sank could play is right field. So that could be just a simple change made to bring some fresh life into the outfield amid the wind and the tough conditions.
It has been a rough day for Stibley out and right so far today. We'll see how the defense looks in the next half inning.
Now 1-1 on Vega as that pitch skips on in. But Vega 0 for 0 on the day. 1 plate appearance, 1 walk.
He does have a run scored. So
a very important run at that. And that pitch right down the middle. Perfect from Mamoni. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. After Vega, we go back to the top of the namer order. The pitch. And it is in there. Strike 3 looking. What an offering from Mamoni.
Took something off that one and froze the batter for the first strikeout of the afternoon for Mamoni. 2 down.
4 strikeouts today from Holy Name in their offensive output. Only 1 swinging. The rest looking. Impressive work from CVCA. On the 2 strike counts, they put the ball in an unhittable spot. No reaction. First pitch, 2 towards Zidlow, will skip away from Weehee. 1-0 the count. Towards Zidlow on the day, 1 for 2, a base hit and a strikeout. But if you are CVCA, who, as you said, is really strong with their starting pitching, but once you get to the bullpen, they have their struggles. This is exactly what you wanted to see. 2, 3, 4. The heart of the lineup is due up. That's where you want to make something happen. A weak chopper from towards Zidlow. Mamoni gets it and chucks 2-1 just in time. And the side is retired in order. Mamoni, a great first inning on the bump. And that will keep CVCA's lead intact. 5 innings complete in Parma. It is the Royals up 3-2 against Holy Name.
If you want honesty and experience in your next real estate transaction, look no further than Patrick Mitchell at Century 21 D Perio. You can give him a call at 440-431-7458. And if you mention Holy Name Baseball and purchase a home through him, he will make a $150 donation to the Holy Name Baseball program. Patrick Mitchell is a proud coach and supporter of Holy Name Baseball since 2007. Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013.
I mean, since day one with this program, he has been the ace. He started with JV, and then he was the quote-unquote number 3 his sophomore year. Hurd and Topolsky got figured out pretty quick. Marchetta, he was the unknown commodity, and he took over as the ace from then forward.
You've got ace against ace tomorrow down at CVCA when these 2 teams match up again. So if you're in the area, make sure you get down to Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy on the east side of Wyoga Lake Road, and these 2 teams will go at it again tomorrow.
And if my games being Mount Union and John Carroll softball are canceled, I get to make the lovely trip up 77 through the beauty that is known as Akron and get to Cuyahoga Falls for that game.
So I would say follow SmeeSports online, right? Where can you find SmeeSports?
SmeeSports Instagram, SmeeFest 2024 Twitter, and subscribe down below. We're on the push to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the month. We are about 80 away from there, and we have had a lot of new subscribers in the past couple of days. So if you're new, go down below and subscribe.
Absolutely. If you're from CVCA watching today and you've heard about this game on the CVCA live stream social media sites, absolutely make sure you're following SmeeSports as well. Nate is the hardest working guy in Northeast Ohio in terms of doing broadcasts all over Mount Union, Holy Name, Alliance. Where have you not done a broadcast this year?
My backyard. A beautiful tank into left center field, still carrying on back, and Nemeth unable to get there. A leadoff tank from Zach Anderson. And he is in scoring position.
A rope from Zach Anderson.
Before we go to the next batter, I mentioned it yesterday. Whatever CVCA livestream does, it's not cheap, it's not free. If you have some spare change, go over and donate to CVCA livestream. I know there's a way you can do it. Tim, tell the people at home how they can support what you do, as you're just a volunteer over there.
We do everything as a volunteer at CVCA Livestream. We're closing in on 200 CVCA broadcasts since the inception of CVCA Livestream. Football, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, you name it. And you can head to CVCA, the giving interface at CVCA, associated with putting CVCA Livestream broadcasts on the air. And we're together today because Nate did an outstanding job when I was watching him broadcast a CVCA Holy Name lacrosse game, as there's a fly ball to right.
Stilly relaying it back in, and Wisniewski will pick it up, but Anderson with one down now stands 90 feet away. And going back to that game, that was one of the most painful games that I have ever called. Seeing that beautiful goal go in, it was a freshman at the time, I forget the name.
Nick Gage.
Nick Gage, yes, at the buzzer. And another layer, I've told this story, the scorekeeper for Holy Name, his son was a senior, so he had to make the correct call, the really humble call to end his son's career.
It was a walk-off goal by Nick Gage in a playoff game against Holy Name with CVCA. Nick just set the school record, so 10 goals he scored against Solon in the season opener.
Oh, my.
18-5 victory. His sister, it's hard to be the less prominent one in the family. His sister, Caroline.
She's D1, right?
She is D1 at the Naval Academy as a sophomore. Started every game as a freshman last year. Unfortunately, Navy just came on the short end of the stick in the Army-Navy game over the weekend in a snowstorm up at West Point. But nevertheless, Nick Gage, outstanding. But let's not make it so much about Nick and the CVCA lacrosse team. It was about you and the professionalism that you displayed in making that call, which ended the Holy Name season at the buzzer, as if it couldn't be any more exciting than that. And you gave it everything it was worth. It impressed me, and that's when I reached out to you and we became connected.
Yes.
I said, who is this guy, Nate Smee? And if you haven't followed Nate, I'm sure most of the folks here are on following SmeeSports, but Mount Union, just doing great things. Volleyball over the weekend.
That was a really fun one, and I switched out the hat to the SmeeSports for this broadcast, but if you saw me on campus today, I was wearing the MCVL Champions hat. I was enjoying every minute of that win. I mean, 15-12 in the final set. I mean, it was. We can have these collaborations for games just like this.
Well, the Royals have a pinch hitter up, Evan Wenzel, at the plate right now. But, Nate, I cannot wait to be at Mount Union week 1 of the football season.
Yes, I know you told me about it. I forget who's coming in. You have to remind me.
The Wheaton Thunder are coming to play Mount Union in a huge early season matchup.
Ball's wide, and the runner at third will stay put.
So there is a personal interest in that game. JT Nichols, my son, should be, if all things go right, starting on the offensive line against Mount Union as a fifth-year senior. And I know that he certainly was recruited by Mount Union, and the coaches there and pretty much everywhere else around the OAC chose to go to Wheaton College, the best Christian college, Christian football program in North America, perennial top 10, top 15 team. But Mount Union,
skied into center field on the payoff pitch. Nemeth gets underneath it, but I think a throw-in would be in vain. And that is the case. A sac fly for Wenzel, and CVCA gets their insurance run. Make it 4-2, Royals on top.
A productive out to center field for Evan Wenzel, and he scores the run there. Gets the run in from third base. It's 4-2.
And now we will see Wershing step in.
So just to finish that thought, Mount Union hosting Wheaton College, the first of a home-and-home between two perennial powerhouse teams. Mount Union with all the championships. Certainly it'll be a great opportunity to be there the first week in September. I believe September 6th.
And then the next weekend, I believe we host Grove City.
I think you actually go on the road for that one and host them next year. But a huge step up in non-conference schedule for Mount Union with Wheaton and Grove City, a pair of teams that have pretty much made perennial appearances in the Division III football playoffs. But both of them looking up at Mount Union to see if they can get a win against the great team from Alliance.
1-1 now the count, and you couldn't have said it any better. Last year, Ferrum, that was a big win, but you have to build that non-conference schedule strong. Grove City, they took Johns Hopkins to a very good game in the playoffs, and that is who Mount Union ended up facing in the semifinals. Now 1-2 as that pitch is fouled away.
And Mount Union coming up just shy in the championship game against North Central. There wasn't a bigger Mount Union fan that didn't have any association with Mount Union than yours truly. North Central, the arch rival of Wheaton College. They're separated by about 4 miles up there in the suburbs of Chicago. They play for the Little Brass Bell every single year. And North Central, unfortunately, in this biased opinion, came out on top.
And a beautiful strike 3 swinging. Frank, he now has 4 punch-outs on the afternoon, and he will retire this side. We'll keep it here during the break between the top and the bottom of the 6th inning. Frank, he did all he could that frame, but that first cut from Anderson, I mean, the wind, it helped it out a lot as it hit over Nemeth's head. Nick Nemeth, he is one of the best center fielders in regards to positioning. If he gets beat twice, I don't think it's really him. It's the wind. But a lot of good games happening on SmeeSports. Last week we got Mount Union and Baldwin-Wallace. Once again, 12 p.m. got word that our boxcast got fried via a storm as they had the camera outside. Not the first time that's happened. Second time since COVID we lost that camera. So dropped everything, went back, woke up my roommate from his definitely long slumber, and dragged him on over to Rayfield or Rogers Field for that doubleheader. Not only did I call the game on SmeeSports, I did the field announcing too. Same time.
That is pretty impressive.
It was an exhausting thing trying to pronounce names at the same time when BW at one point had a stretch of 5 pinch hitters in a row, figuring out who was who. It was a doozy.
Well, none better than you, in fact. I have no doubt about that. But talk about who's helping you out today.
We have my mom behind us. She is doing the scoreboard. And then my roommate, Julian Rodriguez, he is running the cameras. He has been doing some camera work with us since last week. He was there for the St. V's Alliance game. Him and Tajay were there. We should have Tajay on Wednesday as Alliance takes on Carrollton. That will be our last game before Easter. As always, we will be taking off Holy Thursday through Easter Sunday. Since leaving Holy Name Baseball after my sophomore year, during my broadcasting, this is the 3rd year of doing it, we don't schedule broadcasts from Holy Thursday through Easter Sunday. We leave that time as sacred time for family and for faith. Faith, that's the number one thing at SmeeSports. Faith, family, sports. It goes in that order for a reason. And albeit some good games, Kenston and Solon for Holy Name in that time period, we are not going to be doing those as we take those off and we keep that time of year special. Obviously, Christmas, a big time, but Holy Week, it's called that for a reason. Holiest time of the year. Triduum, holiest 3 days of the year. Sports, they can go on the back burner for a couple days.
Absolutely. You know, you think about if you are truly a person of faith and a Christian believer, the greatest day on the calendar is Easter Sunday.
Almost here. First pitch to Nemeth, breaks into the zone. 0-1 the count as Mamoni stays on the mound for the Royals. A good outing so far. I believe either 8 or 9 pitches last inning.
He had a 9-pitch first inning, his first in relief. In the 5th inning, he pitches now in the bottom of the 6th.
Chopped foul by Nemeth as that pitch, it carried in, it broke at the right time. Nemeth, he was timing it up to give it a ride, but the break is just so unpredictable from Mamoni, and to the credit of Shaw, him as well, you really can't judge when it is going to make its final movement.
Absolutely.
Mamoni ready for the 0-2. Ground ball left side, it goes over to McGaw, and McGaw makes the play at 1. A beautiful chuck across the diamond from short. 1 up, 1 down. And dating back to, I believe now the 4th inning, everybody has been retired in order.
CVCA's pitching is putting its stamp on this game. Mamoni 4 straight retired in relief.
And now we will see Ryan Wisniewski step in, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. But Holy Name, you would have to really think, needs a run in this frame, getting 2 to tie, 3 to win in the bottom of the 7th against a very stingy CVCA defense. It is going to be tough, especially given they average 3.7 runs per game allowed.
The Royals certainly trying to close this one down. So how many games do you think you've done in the last year across all the various platforms that you're working on?
At least 100. At least, because I know basketball season, I think, was 45.
That is a lot. That is a lot. So one of the reasons I said, hey, who's helping you out today? You know, it's always hard for CVCA Livestream to get help. We've got some great guys who are very loyal. But even so, when you want to do more and more, it's hard to lean on the same folks all the time. I know you've got a new program in place looking for opportunities for people who want to help you out. So a strikeout happens right there.
Wisniewski going down looking. That is number 2 from Mamoni. And yes, we have the internship program rolling. Not just broadcast help. We want people to be able to write articles and take pictures. As of right now, 6 interns in a week.
That's fantastic. SmeeSports just continues to grow. The things that you were doing, just amazing.
And people ask why I built SmeeSports the way I did. We are for the athletes first. That is the first thing I'll say. But secondly, after years of building up other programs, I was ready to do one for myself after taking what I learned from Holy Name and applying it to what I do. And I would say right now, coming back to where it started, it's a full circle moment, but still, at 19, still a lot of life, knock on wood, left to go, and a lot of room to grow still. As if I go back and listen to last year's game, I'm like, we're muting this one inning in. It's not the same.
Well, the more games you do, the more opportunities you get. You're doing a great job, Nate. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
1-1 the count on Sastry. If anybody can change this game with one swing of the bat, it is him. And that time around, he pops it out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. I believe it is the top of CVCA's order due up when we see them again in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, one more time through that teeth of the order for the Royals.
1 ball, 2 strikes, a big pitch from Mamoni. Chop left side of the infield. It goes over to McGow, and the throw across is in time. The shortstop continues his great afternoon, and he will retire the side. 2 putouts from him, and for the 3rd inning in a row, the Namers go in order. Impressive work from CVCA's defense. Final inning up next. 6 in the books. 1 to go. CVCA 4, Holy Name to your score on SmeeSports.
Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier.
As of right now, we are getting ready for the final inning of this game. We say as of right now because the moment that you say something in broadcasting, it changes completely. 4-2 your score, CVCA on top of Holy Name. A very good battle so far. Very similar to last year, but a little bit less scoring. Sam, your thoughts on this contest? Obviously, we talked about it a lot throughout this broadcast. We did last year's game at CVCA together, and a lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences, the main one being the errors.
Yeah, the wind has really been the biggest impact today. Any fly ball to center field and to right field has been a challenge, to say the least, for the outfielders. And CVCA has probably gotten a few more in the air, and that's resulted in a couple of misplayed balls and a couple balls over the heads of the outfielders that have come around to score, and that's really the difference in the game. The pitching has been fantastic on both sides, and I will say that for Holy Name, Harrison Frank probably deserves a better fate. He's still in there in the 7th inning looking to kind of complete this one. Had 89 pitches coming in. He's yielded 4. 3 of those earned.
So 91 pitches for Frank, and we were talking during the break, do they take him out? If CVCA makes it 5-2, the answer is no. You save your depth for tomorrow, and then Thursday at Kenston, which that's an opportunity for redemption after losing there in the sectional final in 2023. And that was the year that Kenston, albeit with everything stacked against them, they won states.
They did. So, yeah, it's a very busy week with all the rainouts and snowouts that we've had in the first 2 weeks of the regular season here in Northeast Ohio. You've got the regular games. You've got some rescheduled games coming up, and April is always like that. So you got to balance the arms as a head coach in baseball. And today it's Harrison Frank going the distance, at least so far, and he's behind in the count here.
2-2 the count. I believe we're going to see Nemec.
3-1, I think.
Excuse me, 3-1. I believe we're going to see Nemec on Thursday as that ball is chopped to Wisniewski at second, and the play is made to Sastry at 1. 1 up, 1 down.
Despite being down in the count, nice job there to induce a ground ball to the right side and retire the first batter of the inning, top of the 7th for the Royals.
But now we see McGow step in at the sticks. He reached on an error. He walked, grounded out, but even with that in mind, he has had a better game defensively. I mean, the range over at shortstop, really impressive.
Yeah, Connor McGow is just a good baseball player, and he hits another one into center field for another base hit.
A beautiful cut from him. It looked like it was going into the gap, but it dies because of the wind, and once again, the wind is helping out CVCA.
It is. Second hit of the day for McGow.
And now Weehee steps in. Speaking of hits, none bigger than his RBI single. That was really a big one for the Royals. Keeping distance, that was the name of the game. Amid all the obscure things that we have seen today, Weehee has been a constant for the Royals. A throwout at second base as he was able to get Wisniewski, and then the RBI single. I would say the biggest production player, play for play, and he might have another one here. Stibley, this time, is able to track it down for out number 2.
That might be the nicest play of the afternoon for Stibley out in right field. He's had an adventure, as we keep saying, but he certainly had that one under control and retired Ryan Weehee.
And it is so tough out and right amid this wind to read the ball. Stibley, amid normal conditions, he makes those plays. That is who he is as a player. But you have to give him a lot of credit as well. Throughout the first 2 or 3 years of his time with this program, he was a shortstop. They moved him out to the outfield based on necessity and based on the fact that Preisel's there, and last year it was Humanek. Runner goes, swing and a miss, the throw down from towards Zidlow, and it will go into center field. The runner finally takes off, a delayed take, but it doesn't matter. He is in safe at third.
Connor McGow is 4th stolen base of the season, and he takes third on the throwing error by the catcher.
Corner to corner.
Speed puts pressure on defenses, and Connor McGow has it. And he puts himself 90 feet away for an insurance run here with 2 down in the top of the 7th.
And it is an 0-1 count. Frank, he needs an out here. A run, and this one might be out of hand. Now 0-2, another good offering.
He got Herabini to pop out to first base. Kind of an off-balance pop-out, I believe, might have been a 2-2 or a 3-2 pitch. See if he can retire him again here.
This would be a big out for Harrison Frank if he gets it. And it's a good block from towards Zidlow.
He put the tag on the batter just to see if he could buy the call. The ump was not buying.
You always have to do that just in case. The time that you don't is the time that you got the call. So I like it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Frank will take time. For Holy Name next inning, Nemec, Preisel, and Alexic do up, and given the bench, not really any room for substitutions. Here is the 1-2, breaks in, and it freezes Harabedian for strike 3 looking. What a pitch from Frank. his 5th punch-out of the afternoon, retires the side. Once again, we will keep it here in between innings. Frank, his back against the wall. From first to third goes McGow, but he doesn't give up a run.
He did well today. I mean, he may not get the win unless the Holy Name can come back here in the bottom of the 7th inning. But the day is done in all likelihood for him. 100 pitches exactly. The last one was maybe one of the most prettiest pitches he put across the plate all afternoon to freeze Harabedian. He finishes 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Any other day, and he's in line for a potential win.
I mean, 2 great pitchers today. And to think that tomorrow it's the Aces.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have the Aces going today. You've got them going tomorrow with Dom and John Harabedian.
I was almost surprised not to see Harabedian start today, but if he does better on dirt with that landing zone, you play him on dirt.
I think it's also just when the last time he pitched. So Harabedian's last outing was a complete game win last Wednesday against Padua.
So he could have gone out there and pitched today, realistically, but then again, you save him, you go and play at home. And that Padua game, when I saw that final, I'm like, oh, that's a big one.
That is. And frankly, Shaw hadn't pitched since the 4th and had such a great outing against St. V. So you got to get him in, and so he did a great job today. He pitched in and out of trouble early and then settled down, and the Royals have been in command since then.
And you look at Padua, Palange, he is their ace. He's going to Walsh next year, but Chase Martin, as a freshman, first career start, perfect game.
Where do you go from there?
He had a great outing on Saturday in the win over Lakewood. I mean, Chase Martin is just an out-of-this-world talent for Padua, and if this was college baseball, he is going up the ladder. But I think he will stay at Padua, and you look at a guy like Palange, you look at a guy like Bolina, talent-wise from last year, Mascarino at BW, you might have your best talent this decade. And that says something amid those guys. But we will talk about Padua a little bit more come May 12th and May 13th when we have them for 2 games against Holy Name. First pitch to Nemec is low, 1-0 the count. He is 1 for 2 on the day, a base hit, but his other hit, I mean, minus the wind, it was gone.
It was a blast. Just got knocked down.
Now 2-0 the count, and the question for Holy Name is, how many rotational moves do you make? How much small ball do you play? How do you deal with this final frame? Because you need 2. Non-negotiable.
The first thing you need is base runners. And they're ahead in the count here.
And, I mean, Marchetta has speed, but you don't risk him out there on the base path. I mean, he used to hit, but since Coach Macetta has come in, Dom has gone away from hitting and playing right field. The 3-0 is in there. 3-1, a good offering from Mamoni. But if you are Nemec, everything matters a little bit more right now. That's the right call. You do not swing.
I think you take again here. You try and get on base.
That would be my guess. And it's the right choice. I mean, if he swung, he would be greeted by a fastball to the face. But I think he will prefer this 90 opposed to a hard one.
Well, and as we look at the scoreboard, 4-2, the tying run is at the plate for the rest of this inning with the runner on first.
And it is Brendan Preisel stepping in. His brother, albeit a pitcher, plenty of great plays and games for Holy Name. Maybe it's time to channel his inner Connor here and give the Namers a spark. But Connor Preisel, I mean, a Holy Name legend. He's pitching at Miami and Oxford. A great pitcher, one of the best prospects to come out of this program. Maybe the best since Springer after 2020, where he ended up going to Cincinnati. And then outside of those two, Topolsky, he went D1 to Eastern Michigan. And Jaden Hurt initially committed to Tri-C, but in the end flipped to Coppin State.
Well, the younger Preisel here leads this team and runs batted in through the early portion of the season. So you've got a good guy at the plate here as they try and rally against the Royals here in the bottoms of the 7th.
But down early, 0-2 in the count. After Preisel, it is Mike Oleksic. But Preisel, he needs to put bat on ball.
That base on balls stopped the streak.
And it is fouled away. A good survival cut from Preisel.
It's the first base runner for the Namers since, the 4th inning? Is that right?
I had fielder's choice down, but I don't think that was right. I think it still was a fielder's choice, but before, and it was Nemeth. But I could be wrong. No balls, 2 strikes. A big pitch upcoming from Mamoni. The pitch chopped away again. Survival of the fittest. And I talked about this a lot during the Alliance Perry game. Yes, if you look at the box score, 17-2 Alliance won that game. But let's go back to the bottom of the 4th inning. Perry, well within it, 3-2 the score, Alliance led. But foul contact, that kept the Panthers in the game. And for Holy Name, that's what's keeping them in this one. And there is a 3rd foul ball in a row.
Look back, it's the 3rd inning is the last base runner for Holy Name. So it had been quite some time. But it's baseball. There's no clock. You got to get that last out. It's always the most difficult one.
Every out's the most difficult out, I would say.
Mamoni in his 3rd inning in relief.
No action in the bullpen, which I would say is the right call. 0-2 the count, the pitch. Swing and
foul ball.
A big slight tap. 4 now in a row.
A good battle going on here.
And that will wind down Mamoni. If he lets one loose to Alexic that isn't in a good spot, I mean, Alexic, he has had warning track power before. He might have it in him again.
7th pitch of the at-bat.
And it is upstairs. A good take from Preissel. Good patience from him. Now 1-2. The pressure definitely on, but as of right now, knock on wood, he is handling it quite well. Nemec, a shy lead over at first base. The pitch. Lined away. Foul number 5.
He keeps spoiling pitches.
He is on track with the ball. He knows where it is. Can he straighten one out? Preferably right center field over the second baseman. If it is in the infield, it is going to be a tough base to take. And that is strike 3 looking. Nasty work from Mamoni.
Looked a little bit high to yours truly, but the umpire rung him up.
I think that hit that top corner.
It may have.
That was a beautiful pitch from Mamoni.
9 pitches in that at-bat, and Mamoni wins the battle for the first out of the inning.
And he is a double play away from sealing the deal. Alexic now steps in 0 for 2 on the day, and he will see the first pitch well outside. 1-0 the count. Once again, our next broadcast, as of right now, will be on Wednesday as Alliance hosts Carrollton. Here's the 1-0. A beautiful break, now 1-1.
I will toss in that we are not taking off the Holy Weekend. Perhaps we should consider that, but next CVCA live stream broadcast Saturday evening, CVCA and Padua in La Crosse from Royal Stadium.
A very good battle on hand.
It'll be a great matchup.
Here's the 1-1. Dips in, now 1-2. At this point, Mamoni, he might as well live and die by the breaking ball. And I think he will. But count in favor of Mamoni. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Alexic. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in a row. And CVCA can sound their final countdown. It is Danny Stibley back in the ballgame. 0 for 1 on the day. And he is Holy Name's last hope in this contest. He needs to have it here.
1 for 3 on the season coming in. He hadn't seen a lot of playing time. He's the last hope.
A generous lead over at first base. He might as well take off.
Yeah, they're not even holding him.
And he will go. Hit up into center field, and it will drop in. So it works. It gets the job done.
There is some confusion on the field.
I think they wanted Nemec over at third. But I don't think there would have been enough time for him to get there.
I think he was going to second base on catchers on indifference.
I just don't see it.
The center field, yeah. So he made the safe play. You don't want to run into the final out of the game at third base.
So now the question is, does Vega take one, and do we see a double steal? That would be a bold allowance from CVCA.
Well, with Ryan Weehee behind the plate,
it's very tough to decide what they should do. I mean, you're given such a big lead. At first base, Stibley, he could basically stand on second base if he really wanted to, and they wouldn't care. but it's Nemec who needs to be careful, and that's why they needed him over at third. After Vega, it goes back to the top of the order with towards Zidlow. But a very tight finish here at Ron Mottl Field.
Just outside.
Wow.
Royals wanted that call.
I'm surprised they didn't get it. That looked beautiful from here.
It did look good. 2-0.
But a big take from Vega nonetheless.
Mamoni laboring toward the finish line.
Here's the pitch. Right down the middle, 2-1. It looked like he did not have an intention to swing.
Well, with 2-0, make Mamoni throw a strike.
At the same time, if it's that good, that's the best pitch he will see this at bat. I will probably say that's true.
I mean,
but
Vega was 0 for 3 coming into the game on the season.
And they throw back to 2, and it sails into center field, and this time he will hold up.
You had the runner diving back into second base. So
Almost surprised that he didn't try and take off for third on the throw.
I think it's because he was diving back into second there, and his momentum was going backwards. He taking a chance. 2-2 now, though.
Vega down to his final strike. Mamoni looking to seal the win. No more questions asked. Mamoni to seal it. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. It is dropped. And there is the tag. CVCA takes down Holy Name by a final score of 4-2. The Royals now 5-3 on the year. A great finish. A third strikeout this frame from Mamoni. And when the task was tall, he rose to the occasion.
A strong outing in relief for Mamoni. He gets the save, the win for Kyle Shaw, and Harrison Frank comes up just shy today on the losing end for the Namers.
4-2 your final. We will hear one final word from our sponsors and be back on to announce the Health ECU Chiropractic Center Player of the Game.
Experiencing pain of any kind? Call a timeout and stop by the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center. There, Dr. Max or Dr. Stephanie will provide a top-tier adjustment. Then you'll unwind in their therapy room. Visit their website at www.thychiro.com or call 440-238-3338 and book an appointment today. The Healthiest You Chiropractic Center, keeping Strongsville pain-free since 2013. Looking to get in shape and join a great community? Look no further than CrossFit Strongsville. We offer classes taught by our amazing staff of coaches. If going solo is more your speed, stop in for our open gym hours. Visit our website at CrossFitStrongsville.com to learn more and view our schedule. Visit our new location at 12608 Alameda Drive in Strongsville. Strongsville CrossFit, you're worth it. You deserve to be healthier and happier. If you want honesty and experience in your next real estate transaction, look no further than Patrick Mitchell at Century 21 D Perio. You can give him a call at 440-431-7458. And if you mention Holy Name Baseball and purchase a home through him, he will make a $150 donation to the Holy Name Baseball program. Patrick Mitchell is a proud coach and supporter of Holy Name Baseball since 2007.
4-2 CVCA wins over Holy Name here at Ron Mottl Field. An interesting back-and-forth affair. Holy Name struck first with a balk that scored their opening run. A lot of weird plays in the outfield due to the wind, but in the end, it was the grit and grind of CVCA, not only on the mound and defensively, but offensively, that won the day. Your thoughts on this win for the Royals?
Royals get back on track after dropping a game against Bay over the weekend 4-2, get back on the winning side of the ledger. And these two teams will do it again tomorrow, so they have very little time to rest on today's activities. You've got another one tomorrow, and sharply different weather expected. But hey, frankly, a day where a game started with temperatures in the 70s in Northeast Ohio, we will take it.
Some interesting factoids before we announce our player of the game. With the game against Bay, that sealed the second 4-2 split of the year, as they had one that was 1-0 in similar fashion. Win against Walsh, loss against St. V's. The 4-2 split, Padua, they beat them, lost to Bay, but you add on one more win to that. third time out of 8 games, this is your final score. And CVCA, consistent with some good baseball, but also consistent with some reoccurring themes.
Yeah, so starting pitching is the strong suit for CVCA this season. And you saw it again today with Kyle Shaw, who worked in and out of trouble, but backed up his earlier start with a one-hitter, with an outing today in which he went 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, with 1 walk and 3 strikeouts, and then Mamoni in relief did a great job. That pitching and just enough offense is the recipe for CVCA to win a bunch of games this year. And for Holy Name, certainly the rebound start for Harrison Frank, who was lit up against Lake Catholic earlier this year and pitched well, went the distance for Holy Name today. I think they've got a lot to look forward to with him over the course of the remainder of this season.
Definitely a lot of good positives and a few negatives from Holy Name today and for CVCA, but somehow in some way, I believe in our conversation there, we did not announce our player of the game. I know we didn't officially announce it, but I don't even think we mentioned Connor McGow, who will be, or the Healthiest You Chiropractic Center player of the game. 2 for 3 on the day. And as we've said, I don't even think his offense is his best trait. It was his defense today. A lot of great plays over at short. If it was over there, I already had the G6 written down.
He scooped them all up, everything that was nearby. McGow, just a great job in the field. He was on base 3 times this afternoon with 2 hits and a walk, scored a run, had a run batted in, and just did it all in the field. Connor McGow is the player of the game.
And that will do it from Ron Mottl Field. One final time, Tim, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell the people at home how they can support CVCA live stream, whether it be from a social media standpoint or a fiscal standpoint?
Well, first off, thank you for inviting me for the second year in a row to join you for this game. It's always a pleasure sitting with you. CVCA live stream, you can find CVCA live stream on social media by looking for the handle at CVCA live stream on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and make sure you follow CVCA live stream on YouTube and subscribe. Just like you, we're looking for more and more subscribers every day, and we are 100% volunteer, professional production, we like to say, so any dollar amount that you can give to support CVCA live stream is tax deductible, made directly to Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. Just make sure you reference CVCA live stream in the comment section. You can go to cvcaroyals.org/give-now. It costs us about $3,000 a season to do what we do with the equipment cost and things like that we've got behind us, but we do thank the people that support CVCA live stream. And just like you, we're glad to be out here doing great things for high school sports.
Definitely a great area to be in. For those wanting to support SmeeSports, to stay up to date on all the games we are covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and SmeeFest2024 on Twitter as well. Subscribe down below. Push notification bells so you know when we upload or go live. Trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of this month. I believe we are still at 2.92K, so about 80 subscribers off the pace. But we moved up to 3,000 from the end of the year to the end of this month just because of the overwhelming support. Thank you to everyone who has joined on. Our last basketball broadcast for the OHSAA season, we were sitting at about 800 subscribers. So since then, over 2,000 subscribers have joined. We have become monetized. And because of one reel, have made over $600, which is just more than I could have ever asked for. I don't even know what the reel is up to by now, but all it takes is one to make a world of difference. Holy Name Valley Forge. I see Valley Forge in the distance, not to mention the play. One kid graduated and another one of those kids involved going on over to John Carroll, and I know that even though I am a Purple Raider at heart, Drew Steyers is going to go kill it as a Blue Streak. He is going to be one heck of an athlete for them. But that does it from